Today we are going to be rating custom Magic cards on Reddit, and the plan is very simple. We're going to evaluate if this thing is worth printing or if this thing is worth shredding. And now we start this thing off with Goblin PI. The, what's it called? This is, some private investigator of some sort? Red and 1 generic, 2/1 creature, menace. If you would search your library for a card, draw 2 cards instead. That thing is insane! This is absolutely ridiculous. Above and beyond ridiculous. If you would search your library for a card, draw 2 cards instead. So what you're telling me is if I use a fetch land to find anything, I could opt to, well, I mean, I guess you're paying the cost of a land onto the battlefield. So in the end, you're not even going to get your land. So now we have to, well, what do you guys think? Print or shred it? We got Palpatine here off in the corner because Palpatine is representing democracy. So I'm gonna let chat decide, whether we're going to be keeping this card or not. If you fetch a land, you're forced to draw 2 and get no land. Yeah, no, not forced. If you, oh no, yeah, you are forced. You don't have the choice while this thing is in play. If you would search your library for a card, draw 2 cards instead. Absolutely. Flavor text should be 2 in the bush is better than 1 in the hand. Flavor text in this one, in this case, is no returns. Or is it missing persons, 2 for 1 deal, no returns. Good morning, aggressively mediocre MTG. It's good, but it's kinda niche. Is it? It turns all your fetch lands into draw 2 cards. I think that's pretty strong. And it's got menace, by the way, so it's not easy to block. Not easy to block these private investigators. The art is actually really, really good. It's got a goblin there and looks like a detective of some sort. What happens if you search a library for multiple cards at once? I think if all it asks is how many times you've searched, period. And so if you're searching once, if you search your deck for 5 cards, you're still searching only 1 time. Is this the morning proceeding as you have foreseen? Well, I'm surprised everyone wants to print this. I think this card's busted. I think this card is absolutely busted. If you were to search your library for a card, draw 2 cards instead, just turns all fetch lands into draw 2. It sounds pretty good to me. Sounds nuts to me. Balder with the super chat this morning. Thanks so much, Balder. I finally made the coffee. It was great. Thanks for the recommendation. 8 out of 10. Balder bought my coffee, which is, you're going to hear this only once in a very long time, Nescafe Gold Dark Roast. You can only buy it in, well, you can buy it in many places. You can get it in Canada, but you can't get it in the United States. But Balder got it from Amazon. Yes, but you land destruct yourself to draw 2 cards, which is terrible in the early game. We don't play that in the early game. You do it in the late game. I mean, you've at least got 2 lands in play to play your Goblin PI. Alright, looks like Goblin PI gets... how do I put it? Passes. I'm a little surprised by that. Surprised by chat. Alright, the next is the Knight of Sad Continence. 1 white for a 2/1 first strike haste, which is very unusual on a white card. The Knight of Sad Continence can be blocked by non-creature artifacts as though they were 4/4 giant creatures. This sounds like what's it called? This sounds like an AI generated card. Can be blocked by non-creature artifacts as though they were 4/4 giant creatures. So, it's supposed to be something. This has something to do with Don Quixote. My attempt at making a Don Quixote card. All right, you've succeeded. So now here's the point: print or shred. Oops. Millmaster with the super chat. Thank you so much. Legacy Merfolk takes top 2 at the Puget Sound Battleground 4. I don't know what the UM stands for, but yeah, I heard Legacy Merfolk did great. Split the finals. and is taking home the glory. That card is busted, so it's a white 2/1 first strike haste. I mean, so it's really good in the early game. It's really, really good in the early game. Knight of Sen can be blocked by non-creature artifacts as though they were... So, but it can't get through... It cannot get through artifacts. Oh, it can't get through the windmills. It cannot get through windmills. That's the whole deal. That's the deal with Don Quixote. It's Don Quixote! That name would never be on a Magic card. They might as well said Don Quixote. Yeah, gets killed by Mishra's baubles. Oh, Puget is pronounced Puget. Thank you very much. The grammar and wording is definitely subpar here, but the general effect is extremely strong. Creature that struggles versus artifact decks. Artifact decks with artifacts. Yeah, Millmaster has done it again. This is like 20 days in a row already. It's at 69%, no one else votes. Okay, sounds like we're shredding this one. This one's not gonna see print. Oh, look at this one. Value for life. Creatures are treasures. That is interesting design. That is a very interesting design. So, I mean, especially in a token deck, could this go off? Creatures are treasures, including your opponent's creatures, and you can blow them up with, like, artifact removal as well. This feels more like a real card. 1-drops always have huge downsides. For 6 mana, it might be fair. Yeah, everyone's creatures become treasures, so don't think that you're gonna break the format making only your own stuff. It's like Blood Moon for creatures. I think... Do you think it works like that? The way I'm reading this, and maybe I'm wrong here, that your creatures become like treasures in addition to becoming creatures. This effect does nothing as written. Non-artifact creatures can't have artifact subtypes, so it doesn't affect them, and the treasure subtype has no inherent properties, so they can't sack for mana. Well, maybe the design is a little bit off, but we know what the idea is. I think it just gives them the ability to sack themselves. Oh, so you mean like we need... What, treasures don't do anything? It doesn't say in addition to their other types. So basically we're just living in treasure world. Creatures are... I would think it's like creatures become treasures is when it would change everything. Creatures become treasures. What do you guys think? Each creature becomes a treasure token. I read it as adds to its text. It doesn't replace the text for treasure like Blood Moon. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we've got Love Voodoo. Finally get to watch a live stream. Welcome. We are looking at custom Reddit Magic cards, and we're rating them. If we should print it or shred it up. I like the idea that it's a Blood Moon style of effect. Well, what, like there's no creatures on board, but they turn into treasure? That would, it would be so powerful if it was like that, because the combo deck would love to turn everyone's creatures into nothing, and also, I guess, any creatures that they might have can also be contributed to their combo. Chazzy's like, this is broken. I read the intent of this card as Blood Moon the creatures into treasures. Okay. Okay, well, a lot of people like the design of this card one way or another, so we're gonna print it. It actually, it's gonna pass. Chat says, okay, we're printing this thing. Send it! Okay, we got Dormant Viper. 1 green, 1/1 with Defender and Death Touch. And it's got this insanely large ability, a red and 6 generic. Dormant Viper deals 1 damage to any target. That is a very... That's like, looks like a draft card. But it looks definitely like something that could... It looks like it could see something... It looks so bad even in a draft for after turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it's still good at Death Touch. It still has the Death Touch. Vandal Blast approves for the last one. Should be a common. Yeah, well, there's a lot of like uncommon 1-mana Death Touch creatures. It's a draft bulk common. Obviously, in the custom card Reddit forum, you know, they're not actually trying to push the cards too hard here. 6 is too easy in EDH. It'd be such a pain. Wow, that's interesting. So we got Sputter's Stotch here, claiming that S actually would be busted in Commander, especially if you're in a slower battle cruiser Commander. It doesn't need the Defender. Make it ETB draw a card and it's a Modern Horizons 3 card. Yes, it would. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I guess it's like, it's probably not, it's not that much worse at that point than Ice Vanquaddle though. A wall of snakes. Snakes on a plane. They should have made the ability, make the tap ability deal 1 damage to all creatures. Well, then it'd be broken. Then that's just like a creature board wipe and limited. Can't be a common if it kills everything when you have 7 mana. Busted in draft. Alright. And it looks like chat approves. I like this card. We can print this card. Dormant Viper, nice design. Nice picture too. Excellent choice of picture. Alright, we've got the Manolith Maker. 1 mana, 1/1. You may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for spells named Manolith Maker. Sorry, named Manolith you cast. So how many other Manolith cards are there in this game? I don't understand. So hold on. Okay, we gotta look up. I guess we just look up Manolith. Manolith. What are we trying to treat? Oh, we're trying to cheat this into play? This is the only other Manolith I think exists. So bizarre. You may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for spells named Manolith you cast. So for this, it's such a weird niche design. Aggro blue. Grim. Is it Grim Manolith or Grim Monolith? Or maybe, oh no, so it is, it's mana. It's all mana. And this is another monolith. So I guess there's more than one monolith. Grim Monolith. No? What is it? Grim M. Oops. Or is it a monolith that makes mana? No, it's a monolith. It's a monolith. The idea is this guy lets you play that 1 mana rock for free. Yeah, it's really, really niche design. Like, beyond niche as hell. Oh, there's another. Is it a Manolith, though? When I write Manolith, usually it will give me all the different types of... Okay, hold on. So what is the other one? Basalt M. No, it's a monolith. These are all monoliths. They're not Manoliths. I wonder if this guy meant to make it monoliths, but screwed it up and said Manolith, so you get this 1 rock for free. Anyway. Get it out of here. Awful design. What so niche and weird. Okay, we've got Lonix, Prodigal's Instructor. Red, blue, 1 generic, 2/3 creature, worth ward 1. Wizards you control have tapped. This creature deals 1 damage to any target. Wizards you control have tapped. This creature deals 1. So basically all your creatures, sorry, all your wizards become pingers. I'm surprised they don't have a card like this already. This looks like a real Magic card that I could open up in the latest set. Maybe Manolith is a typo across Magic. Yeah, it's possible. Are they reusing art from real cards for these custom cards? Absolutely. This is definitely an art from a Magic card. I don't know which ones. Yes, turns wizards into prodigal sorcerer. Wizard tribal EDH. What is going on, chat? What, you don't like this card? What is wrong with this card? This looks like a real Magic card. Wizards you control have tapped. This creature deals 1 damage to any target. Big deal. Oh, hold on. Was this an old poll? Okay, hold on. Last one. Oh, yeah, the last one got shredded. Okay, sorry. Okay. Print. Shred. There's a lot of wizards people out there. They love their wizards. I'm a wizard! Remember what Palpatine said. Remember what Palpatine said. Palpatine was a very wise man. Matthew Ford approves. It's a great card for constructed formats like Modern. I doubt it. Like, you know, Ward 1 is not really enough to protect you, but it would be good in, say, it might have more of a chance in something like Pioneer. And definitely, I think this is a pretty cool card in Commander. We love our wizards, but not our wizards. Wizard of the Coast, yeah. All the wizards, but Wizards of the Coast. Unlimited power! It needs the tap untapped wizard you control text instead, so... Huh? Needs the tap and untap wizard you control? Tap this creature... Tap... So wait, you're saying you can tap tapped creatures? Just keep tapping it again? Alright. Lonix! Chat approves. You're on a chat approved card. Scorn the Unholy. 1 black. Instant. Cleave. Double black. 2 generic. Destroy target creature you own. Its controller draws 2 cards in its controller draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. And so what? If you pay the cleave cost, it's just destroy target creature. Its controller loses 2 life. That is a weird design. So destroy target creature you own. So basically you can turn any creature into draw 2. There's a card like that, sack a creature and draw 2 cards. This one is worse in that way because you can, so what are we going to do? Are we printing or shredding this? A lot of people like that ability, pay a black, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. This is essentially the same thing, but then you alternatively could turn it into a removal spell where you're destroying creatures, your opponent's creatures. It's completely different. Like, it really completely changes the card. It's a neat design. Cleave is just inherently a clunky mechanic. Yeah, Village Rites is the card I was thinking of, but with life loss. In exchange for being able to blow up your opponent's creatures. It's a more complicated Village Rites. Hey, I don't remember Village Rites ever destroying any of my opponent's stuff. Bad Village Rites, bad removal. Together, good. It's not, it's that card reads as that card reads, it is controller. What? Oh yeah, it is controller, exactly. Okay, so some grammatical error. Should be common, would play in Pauper, Blackburn. Oh man, it would be his powerhouse in Pauper. Just destroy one of your own indestructible creatures. Exactly. Dakota thinks it's too powerful. Unless you play Underworld Dreams and Ob Nixilis, it's pointless. Sanzi says it's like Hagra Mauling plus Village Rites. Exactly, I think that's what they were going for. This is very neat design, because early on in the game, well, early and late in the game, you know, you have your Village Rites, but only late in the game this magically turns into a removal spell. This sounds kind of great. A bad price for removal, but it sounds great for the flexibility. Commander loves having redundant effects to put into your deck. Exactly. All right. Chat approves. Print it. Send it to the printers. All right, next oh my god, we have a Kiara. Oh, this better be good. Kiara the Rising Tide. How do we center this here? We have Kiara the Rising Tide, and so a blue, green, 2 generic. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4 or greater, put a loyalty counter on Kiara the Rising Tide. That is pretty unique attack right there. Oh my god, so there's no plus abilities on this thing. -2, untap up to 2 lands and draw a card. -7, target opponent gets an emblem with, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent creates an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token. This is just madness. So an opponent will get the emblem, and everyone else will get the Krakens. It seems like a fun card. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4 or greater, you just put 1 loyalty counter on this thing. It actually sounds really hard to boost the loyalty because you need to cast enough creatures. Big creatures. Chonkers. You need big chonky creatures in there. I like a Planeswalker with no plus abilities. Makes you build around them more. This feels like a Kiara card. -2 is too busted. Should be untap 1 land. Yeah, but you're going to run out of them really quickly. Well, maybe not too quickly. I guess you go -2, you play Big Chonker, you go to 3 loyalty, then you get to -2 it again next turn. Untap 2 lands is kind of nuts. Is it? Is it crazy? Well, you tap out at 4 mana, play this. You can untap 2 lands, but what are you going to do with those 2 lands? This is definitely one of those dumb doubling season cards. Oh yes, of course. Doubling season, put this thing into play. All right, let's ultimate, and you get to keep the card. The -7 seems busted in 1v1 formats. I think it's hard to pull off in 1v1. I think in 1v1 this card would never do anything. I think it's unplayable in one. It doesn't look playable in Modern. Maybe it's playable in Pioneer. But it's in blue-green, so it has access to Proliferate and Ramp to cast the big Chungus creatures. Same rate as Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Well, look at Kiara the Crashing Wave. The minus is similar. I agree. I agree. It looks overcosted. Well, Chad says we're printing it. All right. Kiara the Rising Tide. Welcome to the group. Okay, Emrakul's Ambition. Black X. Tribal Instant Eldrazi. Devoid. Assimilated to black. What the hell does that mean? This spell is colorless. Use only colorless or black mana to cast the spell. You draw X cards and lose X life. Has there been a card like this before? The fact that I don't really recall anything like this suggests to me that maybe this is busted. Blue has some stuff like this, like double blue X, draw X cards, but then you have to discard. No, but then, okay, the closest, this is Stroke of Genius, more or less, for black. And you lose life. Brainstorm, but life loss. No, it's not quite that. It's Stroke of Genius, but only for 1 black instead of 3 mana. There should be a comma before the word and. Well, they don't work for R&D, alright? Brain Geyser. Yes, 1 black Brain Geyser. Skeletal Scrying. Was that a card? Skeletal Scrying. As an additional cost to cast Skeletal Scrying, exile X cards from your graveyard. You draw X cards and you lose X life. So actually this card exists. This is a very real card already, but just minus the exile cards from your graveyard clause. So this already basically exists. Too powerful, Chris says. Tron would love this. But I mean, actually, that's a point. Tron probably can't take advantage of Skeletal Scrying because you have to exile cards from your graveyard and you may not have that many. I don't know. Maybe they would. Maybe they would have cards. Maybe they have Sylvan Scrying and the Mana Rocks and what's it called? Like Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star. There's also Cut of the Prophets. Black, X, casualty 3, draw X cards and you lose X life. Yeah, but this is where you get black. It's black instead of, Anyway, this is where it's black. You do not need black mana to play this. Ooh, use to it's a devoid assimilated to... It should have been like hybrid. This is very complicated then. This spell is colorless. So you can use colorless or black mana to cast this spell. Maybe this is more broken than we think. So this is not even in the clause of being in a black deck. Cast with Eldrazi Temple? I guess so. Oh, I see what they're doing. So between Eldrazi Temple and probably Eye of Ugin, this would cost X less to cast. So you could just draw a bunch of you could draw a bunch of cards off of Soul Lands. That's the whole point of this. Yeah, and Tron would abuse it big time. What are your thoughts on black cards capable of destroying enchantments? Doesn't that break the color pie? Not really, if there's a gigantic downside to it. I think any color can do anything, but there's just should be a gross downside when you go about it. Alright, so this chat does not approve. This card is busted. You know what? Maybe I should have seen it coming. It says Tribal Instant Eldrazi. They did their best to make like an insanely good Eldrazi card. Hi, who do we have here? We have Jaleero, Limitless Angler. Okay, so legendary creature, human wizard, blue 2 generic. Sacrifice another creature, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it's polymorph for non-legendaries. So you put this in play, activate the ability, sack the creature, and then you polymorph something in play. Is there another word for print? I like the word using the word shred. I don't know, maybe we could ship. Maybe it should be ship or shred. Ship it or shred. Yeah, it's polymorph. It's polymorph, but you can't get legendary, so you can't get Grizzlebrand, you can't get Emrakul. You gotta get something like Archon of Cruelty. Or is it a way of like, oh, because this thing is legendary itself, so you can't have them in the same deck as your legendaries. This is interesting design, because you could put a bunch of other legendaries in your deck now. You could have actually polymorph. No, if you have polymorph won't work because you'll polymorph into the Jaleero. But you can have other legendaries in your deck, and it wouldn't be affected by this guy. And you need other creatures. Like, how does this deck work? So, like, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card. So this deck actually has to be played. This is a weird design. This is like a really weird design. Because, I'll tell you, you need a creature in play to sack. And that creature has to be, I guess it has to be a token. 41% of people think Wizards of the Coast design sucks. Yes. Wait, isn't this just a reskin? Does this card already exist? Wait, is Jaleero, what is Jaleero from? Core 2020? No. No, wait, 2015? Don't give braids a brother. This is just custom flavor. Nick, this card already exists. Does this card already... Hold on, Jaleero. Jaleera? Oh, Jaleera, Master Polymorphist. Sack another creature, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card. Aha! So it's just the brother. Does it cost one less? Oh, no, it doesn't. It's the same damn thing. It's a reskin. Alright. So, it's funny. 39% said shred it when this is a card that already exists. The name of the card... Oh, I see. This is Jaleero Master Polymorphist. Got it. Got it. Alright. Well, based on the fact that this card already exists, it passes. Tezzeret the Last Hope. Black, blue, 2 generic for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. As Tezzeret the Last Hope enters the battlefield, you get an emblem with Tezzeret planeswalkers you control have -3 loyalty. Why? Copy a card exiled. Oh, sorry, no. They get the ability. -3. Copy a card exiled with Tezzeret the Last Hope. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Copy a card exiled. That is so weird. Why do you cast you copy a card exiled with Tezzeret? So, okay, +1, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you exile an artifact, instant, or sorcery card from your hand. Exile target card from a graveyard. Create a XX colorless construct artifact creature token where X is 2 plus that card's mana value. This card gives me a headache. Ship it, shred it. I like this. So this is a flavor fail. Yeah, put on your reading glasses, folks. I couldn't even get to that damn thing. Craterhoof, End Rays, Forerunners, good targets. I was going to remake my blue commander to this one, so I know it's real. Emblem feels too onboard complexity. Honestly, I read all that. I don't even know what this does. I really don't know. It gives other Tezzeret cards this ability to cast cards from exile, and how they got into exile, I guess, is through the +1 here. You can draw 2 cards, and you have to exile an artifact, instant, or sorcery card from your hand. Yeah, it's really convoluted. Too complicated. Do other Tezzerets even exile? I doubt it. I don't know. Also, I don't care. Shred it! Like a guitar at a metal show. Alright. It's getting shredded. In fact, we're gonna give it the big... This is an awful, awful card. Sorry to whoever made it. It's garb. It's pure garb. Okay, we got Cair the Abstinent. What does that mean? He's not getting any action by choice? Okay, so red, 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 red. Like the mana cost. I wish we had more cards like this. Legendary creature Devil. All creatures have haste. All creatures, including your opponent's creatures. At the end of each player's turn, Cair the Abstinent deals 1 damage to that player for each creature they control that didn't attack this turn. Deals 1 damage to that player for each creature they control that didn't attack. That's interesting. So everyone must attack. When Cair dies, it deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. The die clause seems really weird. It deals just 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. That's ridiculous. Alright. Ship it or shred it. Cair the Celibate. It should be deal 4 damage to any number when it dies. Yeah, like the whole deal, 2 damage, you're a 4-power creature. When you go down, you go down with not much fire. The emblem is an interesting design space, but the rest of the card feels uninspired. Yes, that last card was rubbish. Nikachu Honor Guard, blue, creature, merfolk. Creatures you control with Island Walk or Island Home have hexproof. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Does it have Island Walk and Island Home by itself? This would be good in standard. I think at the end, I think this is a good design for I think the first two clauses are really neat. So all creatures have haste. You know, basically encouraging your opponent to attack. At the end of each player's turn, you deal 1 damage to that player for each creature that they didn't want to attack with that turn. You can keep up blockers, but they can't. Oh no, you can't. No, it affects you too. At the end of each player's turn, it'll deal 1 damage to that player. All right, so everyone has to attack. People like it. We're gonna ship it. We're gonna ship it. Neat design. Get rid of this last one though. This seems ridiculous. Okay, Guy Fiery. So in the Jund colors with 1 generic. Trample haste. Welcome to Flavor Town. Whenever Guy Fury enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to an opponent, create a food token. Whenever enter the battlefield or deal combat, we get a food token. Love, Peace, and Taco Grease. Whenever you sacrifice a food token, put a +1/+1 counter on Guy Fury. Untap him, he gains hexproof until end of turn. This seems like such a joke. It seems like such a joke. Flavor is success on principle. Fieri. Oh, Fieri? Okay. This is hilarious. I don't even know the reference. Unset viable. Ship 100%. Shred it! Ship it! It's up to you guys. Democracy will rule. Oh, it's a god too. This is a creature card. This creature type is god. Is he a TV chef? The only TV chef I know is Gordon Ramsay. How do you not know who this is? I guess I don't watch TV. He's a Food Network celebrity. You know, you telling me it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's from MTV or something, staring at this picture. I can't click shred it more than once. The god of Flavortown. Diners, drive-ins, and dives. He's a meme? Alright. Anyway. He doesn't pass. Chat says shred it. I don't even know who you are, so you know what? It means nothing. It's nothing personal. Hawaii! Island Mountain. Legendary. Oh ho ho ho! Ho 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 ho! We've reprinted Volcanic Island as a legendary land. We've got Hawaii here. This should be an interesting one. This is design space people are waiting on Wizards of the Coast to do something about. Because it would put a huge relief on the reserved list land type of thing. And if you only need one land in your deck anyway, it may be perfect for Commander. You know, you effectively reprint the reserve list, but I mean, you put a huge clause on it that they can only be legendary lands, which for Commander, who cares? You can only have one in the deck anyway. When is Raging River going to be a card again? Whoa, you're going way back into the past, Millmaster. Raging River? I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a blue card for 3 mana, and you can sacrifice a land as bounces creatures. Oh no, I'm thinking of something completely else. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, each defending player divides all creatures without flying they control into a left pile and a right pile. Then for each attacking creature you control, choose left or right. That creature can't be blocked this combat except by creature with flying and creatures in a pile with the chosen label. That card is not coming back for forever. Tokyo, tap for red, white, and green. Because Hawaii is a volcanic island. Printed anyways, my CDH decks could use another volcanic island. And this is a problem though anyway. Like, even if you reprint the original duels, people will still have access to the original duels. Sorry, like, even if you print the original duels in legendary form, you still have the original duels that people will still play. And people will get jealous of. Oh, you still have, now you have 2 volcanic islands. England, tap for black and blue. Legacy doesn't need more dual lands. Having a limit of 4 each is fine. I don't even think they would play this. Like, well, I mean, they would probably play a different land to play around maybe something that, has something, influences something by name. So they might put 1 of each legendary land, but that's about it. Just ban the OG duels from Commander. That's a possibility too. It can happen. All right, people like this design. We're gonna ship it. I like the design too. We're just waiting on that thing to even become a thing. All right, the Broken Guardian. 1 generic for a 0/1 creature, defender, ward of 3. So it's got ward 3. Artificer creatures you control have tap. You get an energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Spend 10 energy. The Broken Guardian gets +11, +10 protection from Eldrazi and can attack as though it didn't have defender until end of turn. Not to influence anything, but this is a stupid design. So ship it or shred it. Yeah, a lot of text for a 1-drop. People like doing that. They make these 1-drops with all these crazy abilities and weird crap. Bobby likes it though. I like a 0/1 with defender and ward 3. And it doesn't really even do anything. It's not even a good blocker. It's just a 0/1 creature.
Cool concept, but very dumb. I like that comment. I like that. It's a cool like it's flavorful. It's like it's a pile. So what it comes down to is it's a pile of junk for 1 mana, and then if you can give it energy, then all of a sudden it comes back to life. And I don't know why it has anything to do with Eldrazi, but whatever. I like the flavor, but the design sucks. Pretty limited design with a narrow tribe with small payoff. I hate reading it, so shred it. You know what, KBG? I'm in the same boat with you. I hate reading some of these cards. They're not simple. Why can't it just be like Hawaii? I like Hawaii. Hawaii is very easy to read. Legendary land, island, mountain, and it adds a red and a blue. This, it's a novel. Too many words. Cubing. I'm sure there are some decks that will play it just to let you tap your own creatures at will. I guess that's the payoff. The artificer creatures you control get... Well, they don't add mana, they just add energy. That's it. Food for KC... Is it KCK or KCI? Or maybe there's another card, like a Krark Clan, something else. There's a few Krark Clan cards out there. Oh no, hold on, no. Food for... I don't know what that is. That card. A bad novel. Yes, it is a bad novel. Charles LeGreat says 1 mana energy artifact. Now that's just Aetherworks Marvel fodder. Exactly. Alright, we're shredding it. I hate staring at it. I hate staring at it. Alright, we got Blackfin, Riptide Captain. The Captain! Shark Captain. With a big hook. Okay, black, blue, 2 generic with menace. There's a Shark Pirate. Whenever Blackfin deals combat damage to an opponent, that player mills 4 cards and exiles 2 of those cards. You may play one of the exiled cards this turn without paying its mana cost. So they get to choose? I think they get to choose this. Shark Pirate, so print it. Anyone who likes sharks or pirates, you can put it in your Shark Typhoon deck. It's like a I don't know if it's like a legendary Thief of Sanity. Target player mills 4 cards and they exile 2 of those cards. So they mill 4 cards and then I think the player gets to choose what gets exiled and then you get to play that stuff. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, KCI. Too weak. Opponent's choice, bad. Still seems too strong though. I think this is quite fair. It looks really, really fair. I mean, it's hard to block. It's got the menace clause on it, but it's 4 mana. I guess you could I guess you can have this out turn 2 with Soul Ring. Turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Blackfin, Riptide Captain, and then there should be very few creatures on the battlefield, but it's like really mediocre. Fallen Shinobi. Low stats and low cost, but interesting ability. Numbers could use a tweak somewhere. I think you should be able to choose the cards that get exiled. Then we're talking. Because otherwise they'll just exile 2 lands. So I think of all the times that you hit your opponent and they just reveal 2 lands and they're just gonna exile the lands. You may play one of the exile. Okay, like I guess you get a land. It's not that bad. Nothing broken. Well, I guess the main thing is 2 cards without paying its mana cost. So you'd have to be really lucky. Your opponent flips over 3 cards that are really expensive. Sorry, yeah, at least 3 cards that are really expensive. I've actually always wanted a Dimir Shark for my Ocean Tribal deck. Ability is really boring for such a cool artwork. It's not any normal tornado. It's a Sharknado. So I didn't see Sharknado, but I watched all the trailers. There were like 6 of them, and they're very, very interesting. It looks like a really bad movie that just kept going on, and they were also making fun of themselves. All right, looks like Blackfin, Riptide Captain. You pass. Oh, this is cute. Nighthawk Bat. We got Nighthawk Bat here for a black 0/1 flying Death Touch lifelink. It's a vampire. This is neat. This is like a build around design of some sort. because you can't kill anything because it doesn't have any power. You don't gain any life because it also doesn't have any power, but it does have flying. So you have to somehow... Yeah, this is very cute. So you have this cute little bat here. No flavor text, shred it! Vampire bats were the bomb back in the day. You have to pump this thing up for it to do anything, though. You can shred it with that art. Lars has joined the chat. Welcome, Lars. I see vampire, I ship it good. Slap on auras and equipment. Aha! So this is what the card is made for, you people who like to build around cards like this. Charles LeGreat, the garbage mobile player. What day is deck list review again? We'll make it Friday. We'll make it Friday, unless anyone objects to Friday. Maybe people need their information earlier. Monoblat Rograk. Oh god. Okay, well anyway, we're gonna ship this card. And we're gonna look at more cards, but we gotta talk FusionGamingOnline.com, today's sponsor. Alright, they got a giant, there is actually a huge sale now at Fusion Gaming Online. Giant summer sale, up to 50% off hundreds of items, sealed product, and playmats and stuff like that. Get all your goodies at FusionGamingOnline.com. Do not forget, however, to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Turn that 50% off into additional 5% off all your purchases. And we're going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online to play any deck, any format, anytime you want. You know, the Pauper deck cost me like basically $100 in Blue Elemental Blast and Hydro Blast. But I just have to spend the money because I just rented the cards with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_9Y6. Alright. Back to the cutie. Alright, so you pass. It's gonna get shipped. Deck list review every February 29th? Well, I don't know. Oh yeah, once a year. Oh, here's an interesting one. Okay, Tidal Zone. Add a colorless. Islands you control have Ward 1. Okay, that's weird, but okay. Pay 1 life. Tidal Zone becomes Island until end of turn. Pay 1 life. Tidal Zone becomes Island until end of turn. Why? What? Why? Okay, hold on. So what is the advantage here? So basically it's it's an island. It's like a Darkar Wastes the hard way. It's like a really, it's an Darkar Wastes. Oh, decklist review once every leap year. That was the point of February 29th. Pay 1 life taps for blue, basically. Yeah. Or sorry, it's not in a Darkar Waste. It's like a colorless Darkar Waste. It's a worse Darkar Waste because you don't even add the white. Protects your islands, which I don't even know why I need it. Gives itself ward. Yeah, but it's too late. You have to do it in advance, right? You have to like pay 1 life every single turn. Well, the thing is, by the time I play Spreading Seas, it's too late. It's already targeted. Someone got their island strip mined and is still mad. Yes! Yes! Someone got their island strip mined. This is interesting. A lot of people don't want this card. Now, it would have some application in some Eldrazi decks, because they would want this sort of pseudo dual land. It would work, because some of Eldrazi, like, you know, Thought-Knots here, they need to add generic mana. Doesn't it lose the ability if it becomes an island? Islands you control have Ward 1. No, if it becomes an island, it has the islands you control. I think, oh, maybe it just becomes an island. That's true. We lose the ability in exchange for becoming an island. Shred because it's useless and boring. Well, the entertaining thing about this is we're trying to find some way to make it playable. I don't know, why would anyone want to do this though? whatever. It don't work. Okay, it don't work. Moving on, Infernal Phoenix. Red, 2 generic, flying, 5/5 creature. When you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, if X is 5 or more, you may return Infernal Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield. Remember, if you're inspired by any of these, you can always play it in Commander. Just ask your friends, hey, can I play this cool card I saw on the Reddit custom board? And if they say no, then they say no, but you're free rolling it. When you cast a spell with X and its mana cost, if X is 5 or more, you may return Infernal Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield. What's that last card? That black card that we saw today? With X and the mana cost, you can like gain a bunch of life. Sorry, you lose a bunch of life, draw a bunch of cards, and you put your Infernal Phoenix onto the battlefield. You know, Card Market did a thing where they were playing with AI-generated cards. They should make one where they play with all custom-made cards. If anyone's seen that video. We played with custom-made cards to see if these cards are a good design. Not good, but design is fine. Should have haste. Yes. It should have haste. Anyway, easy print. Someone likes their phoenixes. Someone likes their phoenixes. Okay, well, this has a banger name to it. Set the World Ablaze. Double red, 2 generic. Sorcery. Set the World Ablaze deals 1 damage to each creature and opponent. Repeat this process if a creature dealt damage this way dies. Ooh. Ooh, interesting. So there's a point where maybe creatures don't die and then it just stops. That is a really interesting card. So tap to add either red or black. 1 red, 3 generic. This land becomes a 3/4 sexy goat creature with when this creature becomes blocked, deal X damage to defender, where X equals... Oh man, you want to put that on a land? That's crazy. Isn't this a real card? Is this a real card already? Ah, yes, it's Massacre Girl, but in sorcery form. That's what it is. Yeah, it's very Massacre Girl-like. I think it's more flavorful for red, though. I think it's much more flavorful for red. Well, to be honest, Massacre Girl is a very flavorful card. Wow, this is the highest ship it I've seen all day. Only 2 people want to shred it? What's wrong with you all? You don't like fun? Maybe you didn't like Massacre Girl. Okay, set the World Ablaze. Passes. Okay, last minute deal. Red and a blue. Choose target spell. Strike a deal with that spell's owner. Okay. Interesting. Strike a deal. Let's make a deal. They accept. Counter that spell. Then its owner creates a number of treasure tokens equal to the converted mana cost. They decline. Create a number of treasure tokens equal to that spell's converted mana cost. Ah, interesting. So you target a spell, and then you give them the option. Do you want it to be countered? And you get some treasure tokens. Or do you decline to counter it, but I get the treasure tokens? That is some interesting design. I don't know if it's necessary to give your opponent or give the spell's controller the treasure tokens. They could just say like, okay, it resolves, I get tokens, or it gets countered, and that's it. Kebby loves it, apparently. Interesting commander card, should be 1 CMC hybrid mana, in my opinion. Is there something wrong with the internet connection? I'm getting spins like every 3 seconds. You should lower your, what's it called? Quality of the stream. We do stream in 1080p now. It used to be 720 a long time ago. Hearthstone have a card called Defile, the same. Needs a keyword like Fatality. Should be like an enchantment that goes off on every spell, like Counterbalance. Oh! That is interesting. Is it Squad Rises? What's Sanzi's idea? The decline should be counterspell. You create treasure tokens. Create a number of tokens. Counter spell, you create treasure tokens. No, but why would they take that deal? That's a pretty rotten. They lose their spell and they get tokens? It's got to be like, if they lose their spell, they get the tokens, and if the spell resolves, then the controller of last minute deal gets the tokens. Oh, an earlier one? Sanzia is full of great ideas here. The accept should be you get a copy of the spell and opponent creates a treasure. In addition to them getting the thing resolving. Okay, that's an interesting idea. It's an interesting design. Like, does this mechanic even exist? What kind of deal? Perfect design. I think it's a very interesting design. You can definitely ship this thing. All right, cool. Okay, the Darkwood Grizzly. Green, it's a grizzly bear. It's a 2/2. The bears. Green 1 generic. Target creature with less power than Darkwood Grizzly blocks it. This turn, if able, activate this ability only once each turn. Green, and you can pay either a hybrid of 2 generic or a green. Put a +1/+1 counter on Darkwood Grizzly. Not a very exciting card, to be honest. Definitely could see play. It's a bear. Print it. I don't care how busted it is. The power creep of the bears. I don't like the hybrid on this one. Oh, you can shred it for just that reason. It is a common. It's very good in limited. I wonder how many people submit cards here saying, well, this would be a great limited card. I'd love to draft this in common. The bears. Oh, that's a good point. Is this any good in Pauper? Is there a deck that would play this in Pauper? How does the bear have tattoos? That doesn't make any sense. There's a bunch of fur on him. Ellie likes the mechanic. Ayula welcomes this. Need more bears. This could be OP in a mono green ramp deck, really. Not plopper playable. Okay, it looks like it's gonna get shipped. It's a bear. Nothing wrong with this. Alright, Boreal, Agony's Vanguard, black, 7 generic for an 8/9 creature. Oh, it's a reader, people. Alright, let's look at this Elder Demon. Eminence. At the beginning of your end step, if Boreal, Agony's Vanguard, is in the command zone or on the battlefield, Boreal deals 2 damage to you. At the beginning of your end step, so if... What? So what, you want this in exile or something? If it's in the command zone or on the battlefield, it's dealing damage to you. Okay, so it has Flying, Trample, and Haste as Ward 3. Whenever a non-land source you control deals damage to you, each opponent loses 7 life. When a non-land source you control deals damage to you, each opponent... So you can't use fetch lands. But whenever something deals... whenever a non-land source you control deals damage to you, and this thing deals damage to you. What the hell? This is ridiculous. So basically, yeah, you take 2, they take 7. How is this balanced? This might be the worst design today. You're like, hey, this is pretty interesting design, and then you get right to the end, and then you're like, oh my god, this is just broken. You just leave it in the command zone and watch your opponent all die. Okay, what do they say? What was in the comments for this? There are 2 comments on this. I gotta read. It doesn't seem overpowered per se, but 7 life per trigger means 6 triggers will kill all opponents who didn't net gain life, so you can trigger it. Trigger it 5 times the turn you play it, and trigger it itself. You might just wipe out every other player. It doesn't seem like it'd be too hard to do. I'm personally not a huge... I'm surprised they're even giving real feedback. This card is busted. This card is just ridiculous. Oh, the bottom effect only works when it's on the battlefield? Oh, okay, that's true. So when you get it out. But still, it's ridiculous. The last part doesn't trigger from the command zone. You do have to cast it. I hate these, but I do hate these abilities that, well, in this case, yeah, if it sits in the command zone, then it actually is dealing damage to them. So it's not close to busted. This is a very balanced card. So I guess there's a lot of people that like this card. Whenever a non-land source you control deals damage to you, each opponent loses 7 life. How much does it cost? It costs a lot. It does cost a lot. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. 10 mana. Eat up your life total on the way. Alright, so this thing will not pass, though. Some people like it. If you like it, you like it. Alright, that's it for Coffee and MTG today. That's it for the cards we're looking at. But thank you very much for watching, being a part of the Coffee crew. As usual, we do this Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. If I have a P.O. box, if you want to send me anything, would love to open it up on stream. Thank you very much for all the support. Thanks for everyone who's becoming a member. You can see your badges in chat. It's beautiful. And the super chats. Make no mistake, the super chats, like from Millmaster, Stillmake is even at the end of the show is showing off the super chats. Still miss Decklist Review. It's gonna have its own dedicated day now. Decklist Review has its own dedicated day. We'll do it on Fridays. So thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, because without all of you, there'd be no show. There would be no democracy. Only democracy in the hand of you can only have democracy if there's enough people in chat. So keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.